On the edge of the North York moors lies the picturesque town of Kirby Moorside, home to auctioneer Angus Ashworth.
150 it is, good quality stuff, Yorkshire stuff, that's what we like.
With the help of his team and his family,
Goodness, can't even lift it.
Angus has been running his auction house for more than a decade.
52.
When he's not on his rostrum, he's clearing cluttered homes,
Where does all this come out of that cupboard?
finding unwanted items to go under his gavel.
Love this. It's funky, isn't it?
It is absolutely ghastly.
It's little things like that that just make my job enjoyable.
Using his expert knowledge, he uncovers hidden gems.
This is really nice.
There's a bit of Yorkshire wherever you go in the world. Yorkshire!
And discovers valuable heirlooms.
Bit dusty, not best time to wear a white shirt maybe.
Back at the sale room, he turns these forgotten treasures
£2,200.
into incredible windfalls of cash. It's an early start at Rydale Auctioneers as Angus and his staff are preparing for another busy day.
Hello, the auction house.
Every day's a school day for Angus because he's always coming across something new.
You're constantly learning in this job. We do still use a few reference books, but most of it now is all online. We can look at everything that's ever sold at auction, how much it made, when it sold, and that gives you a real indication of an item's price range. Very important to keep up with market values so you can have that confidence to put a price on something.
Time for Angus to test out his expertise once again as he's off with his removals team, Pete and Andy, to a job in Girvan on the southwest coast of Scotland.
Right, Pete, Andy, we're going to be helping Fiona today, whose parents sadly have died. We're helping finish clear the property. She's already done most of the work, so it's just the attic that's still full of items that she doesn't know what to do with.
Angus may have more homework ahead because Fiona's attic holds a very unusual collection.
You done this one? Please say no.
Fiona and her husband Billy have inherited not only her parents' house, but also her dad's enormous collection of all things Ferrari.
That's a fancy brochure. Look at that. Oh.
Right, that's us nearly here at Girvan. You know the score, lads. We'll park up, I'll go in. We'll go have a look at the Ferraris and then we'll get back in.
Hi there, how you doing?
I'm not so bad, thank you. You all right?
Fine, thanks.
Please come
Thank you very much.
Fiona was close to both her parents, who were happily married for over half a century.
This is Mum and Dad's house. They've lived in this house for about 40 years.
Fiona's mum died of cancer 6 years ago, leaving her dad Charlie heartbroken.
Dad was distraught, absolutely distraught. I've never seen anybody as heartbroken. Dad took ill very quickly and within 2 days he was gone, but I'm quite surprised that he actually lasted 4 years without my mum, because a broken heart like that never mends properly. It never did. As an only child, I have inherited the house, and it's quite emotionally difficult because I know how much my parents loved this home.
Fiona needs Angus's help because until she can deal with her dad's collection filling the loft,
Thank you very much.
she can't sell her parents' house and move on.
This isn't a loft. I mean, this is a museum in a loft. I mean, it's...
It is.
Wow, it is vast. I know we don't really like the phrase man cave, but this is a man cave. This is brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Where do you start?
Fiona's dad Charlie spent 40 years accumulating his fleet of hundreds of Ferraris. There's not a spare inch of wall space, and he could have opened a library with all the books he collected.
When you think about Ferrari, you also think about F1, Formula 1. And when you think about Formula One, there's only one person that you think about for a Ferrari, and that is Schumacher. One of the greatest drivers of all time. Here we are, signed by Schumacher, limited edition, only 450 of these prints. For an F1 fan, it's going to be hugely appealing. To a Ferrari fan, it's going to be hugely appealing. So it ticks a lot of boxes. And, you know, I can see that doing really well. Fiona, I was just wondering if I could ask you about this.
Yes.
Is this something your dad made?
He made it himself. He was extremely proud of this. It's all completely to scale. And can you guess what these wheels are made from?
Well, they're a great rubber tyre of some sort.
They are actually the wheels from a wheelie bin.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Dad worked for the council and he had friends in the borough yard, so he went down and asked them for a spare bin so that he could just have the wheels, and it's perfect, perfectly sized.
They're ideal, aren't they? They really
Yes.
are very effective.
Yeah.
Charlie was a man of many passions. He loved his cars, his family, and his music.
Dad was a teddy boy into rock and roll. He played lead guitar. Fabulous person. He lived his own life. He was quite wild when he was young. Dad always had a passion for cars. He was very mechanical. Didn't do that as a living, but he fell in love with Ferrari cars. He would go to Italy and go to Maranello, where the factory is, and he would get to look in the engines, and if he could talk to one of the mechanics, oh, he just loved it. So it really was his passion and his pride and joy.
Fire up your engines, lads. There's a lot of packing to do. It's going to be a long old day.
Right.
Let's get cracking.
So good.
You're just awash with Ferrari cars, but in among it, there are other items. It's not all just model cars. I mean, look at this. Racing type jacket. That's a must-have, isn't it, for any Ferrari fan? There's some great things like that, and, you know, it's going to be hugely popular. And everything is pristine condition-wise. I don't think this jacket's ever been worn.
If the auction of Charlie's collection raises enough cash, Fiona plans to spend it on something indulgent for her and Billy.
I would love to travel around India. Dad was never a saver. So he would say, that's your money, you enjoy it now. So that's what I would do. I would save a little bit and have a nice holiday somewhere.
For Andy and Pete, it's not an easy task packing up the collection and getting it down that steep loft ladder.
Come on then. Give me those books. Call that Luke's heavy. Right, yeah.
This is nice, this book.
Yeah, it's lovely,
This is really his model collection when he first started it.
Fiona's found something too personal to let Angus take away.
He sort of matched up pictures to the cars. It's nice seeing that though, isn't it? This is precious to me. So this will go back home with us and I'll keep it forever because it's all in Dad's handwriting.
I always love doing large single-owner collections and selling them. Quite often there's some rare stuff, and it attracts a lot of people to the sale when you've got a massive collection in. So whether it's medals or railway or Ferraris or watches, whatever it is, collections are always really interesting from my point of view and fascinating. It makes, you know, it's part of why I love the job, really.
Dad liked to share his collection with people. If I just maybe taken the things home with me and sold them on eBay, which I wouldn't know what to do, they would have just been scattered. It would just have been very disjointed. But I think for Angus to be here and see the whole collection and for it all to go in a oneer, this was definitely the best thing to do. And Dad will be sitting somewhere just now clapping his hands.
While most of Fiona's dad's collection is contained in the attic,
Go for it, go.
the lads have found a few extra bits on the garden shed.
Oh, cooking with gas, Pete. Look at that.
It's a two-man job
Nearly there, Pete.
to get the vintage Ferrari signs unscrewed.
Right, got it, boss.
Next one. They're a bit rusted up. Oh, that's got it, Pete. Go on. Faster, faster, faster. Right, you are clear.
The clearance has been a mammoth job. But as the very last of Charlie's Ferraris are loaded,
Just as we thought we'd finished, opened the cupboard and it's full of all this border fine art.
it turns out Charlie wasn't the only collector.
I mean, it sells really well with us, doesn't it, border fine art?
it does.
This hidden treasure belonged to Fiona's mum.
Border Fine Arts was founded about 50 years ago in the Scottish borders. It celebrates that farming community and hugely popular across all of rural Britain. Some of the big ones can make a lot of money, even up to £1,000. It's we've got 2 collections out of one that was forgotten about in the cupboard, and it's quite exciting, really.
Yeah.
Andy and Pete are ready to head for home.
Right then. Shall we get locked up? Yeah, good. Home, sweet home.
Leaving Angus to show Fiona her dad's empty attic.
No, this was the same place.
Wow.
I'm quite shocked.
I feel really sad, actually. Just because, but I know I had to go, you know, I had to go, but it was kind of like the last piece of Dad.
Seeing it empty does kind of make it feel quite real, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does. I don't really want to say goodbye. You know, I think that's maybe why I've held on for so long.
Well, hopefully you can take solace from the fact that it's going to go to people that appreciate it. There's going to be other collectors like your dad who are going to buy it in the way that he did, and
that's what he would have loved.
There was this that we thought you'd like to keep. You ought to keep that.
I thought you'd taken it.
No.
Thank
we
you.
couldn't take that. You're welcome. Well, I best head back south. The next thing is to see you on auction day.
Oh no, I'm really looking forward to that.
Whilst Angus, Pete and Andy make their way back from the loft clearance in Ayrshire, back at the auction house in Kirby Moorside, Mark is preparing for the unusual collections that are coming in.
Just making some space now. We've got a vast collection coming in, both of border fine arts and a massive collection of Ferrari models, books, memorabilia. So there's an awful lot coming in. Very exciting.
Pete and Andy are back from Scotland, and thanks to their careful packing, the Ferrari models and delicate china have survived the journey.
Look at that's an intelligent dog. Good design, really.
If I had a bacon sandwich on it,
It'd be even better, yeah, I suppose.
Outdoor sale manager Mark is even more taken with Fiona's mum's collection than her dad's.
Again, that's a nice one, isn't it? Sheepdog trials today.
Hey.
I've got to be honest with you, the other stuff that's coming off is more of my cup of tea.
The van is packed full of Ferrari and the lads are loving it. But for me, the gem of this isn't actually all the models and pictures and everything else. You know, you have this whole room all about Ferraris. The best 2 bits were stuck to the garden shed. Those 2 enamel signs, I think they could potentially be the star of the show.
It's auction day, and the staff are revving up for another sale. Fiona's arrived from Scotland just in time for Mark to give her a quick tour.
Yeah, so this is ready for today's sale, but yours is all up there.
Oh, my dad would love that.
Special place for you.
Special place for him.
I hope we can do really well for her, because her dad's passion was this collection. You know, this really is her dad, and there's all the bits he's made, and I hope we can get some good prices. For Fiona, it's all about the items being appreciated and going to other collectors.
Today, with Ferrari collectors from across the globe poised online, as well as an auction room full of bidders, Angus needs all the help he can get. Joining him, auction clerks Emma and Heather will track online bids, Claire's on porter duty, and Jeremy is ready to take bids on the phone.
I noticed you're wearing red jacket. Is that for the Ferraris?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, red and black, just like the loft.
But also in the loft, the Ferrari loft, we had all this lovely collection of border fine art. And we start, flat refusal. Yeah.
We've all been there, haven't we? There we go. We've got lots of interest in this. 60, 80, 100, 110, 120. Commissions are out. 130, 140, 150, 150. At £150 it is then. At £150. 19408.
Thanks,
Thank
Mum.
you. Frosty morning, great one there. 170, 180 now. 190, 200.
Online bidders from the Highlands and the Lake District are neck and neck.
I'm going to sell at £200.
But the winner by a nose is a collector from Hampshire who's already scooped several other figures in the sale.
On the hill, all marked up there. There we go, signed, etc. 65, 70, 75, 80, 80. Thank you, madam. 85 in the room. Yes, 95. We're all done. Going to sell to the room at 95. Thank you. One to the room.
Most of Mum's 25 Border fine art figures have sold to estimate or above, and in some cases, way above.
Right, we're on to the next collection, thank you. The Ferraris. I bet nobody has ever seen so many Ferraris as this. Not even Ferrari have this many Ferraris.
In fact, Angus has had to split the collection into over 80 lots.
All the helmets there, Schumacher, Irvine, Berger, etc. £30 a bid at £30 it is, then at 32, 32, 35, 38, 38 it is, then at 38. I'm selling that at £38.
Next up,
here we go.
the mid-20th century advertising sign, possibly from a Ferrari dealership.
At 180, 190 back to the sale room. 200 on Easy Live at 210, 220, 230 off the shed wall at 230, 240.
The online bidding is fierce for this item,
At 400, 420, 420. I know this means a lot to the vendor at 440.
with two collectors going head to head.
580, 600. At £600, the gavel is up. Thank you very much. The condition of that sign was fantastic. And we had a bidding war on the internet. Overseas buyers, UK buyers. But in the end, it went to a UK buyer who was absolutely delighted with it. All the Ferraris again. That's 75. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. £80 it is. Got a black one here, just to mix it up a little bit. Two bids, £60. We have to start at 140. £140. £160.
Next up is the limited edition print signed by Michael Schumacher himself.
Fly, shoe me, fly. Go straight in at £80, £90 at 90 at 90. We're all hovering 95, 100. At 110 it is on the sale room, then at 110, 120. Fly, shoe me, fly. It's flying, isn't it? 70 as we come
That
to
was
the
the best
final
one.
At 170.
That one.
At
That was very
170
dear.
it is. At 180, at 180. He gets past him just at the end there. At 180 it is, then at 180. At 180 it's neck and neck. 190. Sale room comes in at 190. At 190 they come into the finishing line at 190. The paddock type jackets. Got a few inquiries on this one. £40 a bid at 40, at 45, 50, £55 it is. 60 in the room at 60, at 5, 65, 70, at £75.
The final lots are a set of items very personal to Fiona. The wall mounts her dad made himself.
The wall display model of the rear section grille of a Ferrari. 70, 75, 80, 80, bids all over at £90. 240 it is, 250. The gavel is up at £260. Thank you. He wasn't bad at making stuff, was he?
Oh, I know. He'd be so delighted at that.
This is the really big one. The wheels, they're actually off a wheelie bin. Great model. There we go. 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200.
The online bids are fast and furious, just like the Ferraris themselves.
230, 240. We're all done for the Ferrari model at £240.
Well done, Dad.
I'm absolutely delighted and over the moon for Fiona because not only did her dad's Ferrari collection sell really well, but her mum's Border Fine Art collection. And it's what we call in the trade a white glove sale, 100% sellout rate. Even on a good sale, you don't often get every single item away, but we did today.
With the sale such an unprecedented success, it's time to see what Fiona made of it.
It was exciting at points, wasn't it?
It was, and I could tell with the cars that somebody There was one person with the same number that took a lot of them, the Formula Ones, and he would have loved them being kept together.
About 80% of the collection has gone to free buyers.
That's nice. So it'll be people who will love them.
Absolutely.
And my mum's Border Fine Arts. I mean, they were lovely.
One of the lots with the sheep on it's gone to a sheep farmer up at Rosedale.
Oh, has it? Oh, that's lovely.
That's going to be loved.
Yes, that's really nice.
You must have had in your mind some sort of idea of value.
Well, to be honest, Angus, I didn't have a clue at all.
Well, you'll be taking home £7,949.
Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you. I had a really good day. The auction went really well, and I'm quite delighted. The sign that Angus saw on Dad's shed, I thought, well, that's not going to be worth anything. Just sold this morning for £600. I couldn't believe it.
A new day brings a new job for Angus, and this time he's heading out on his own.
Right then, Angus. I filled her up for you.
Oh, cheers, Pete. Thanks for saving me a job.
All ready to go.
Was the jet wash not working?
I ran out of 50p's. You don't pay enough.
Oh, cheeky.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right then, off you go, sir.
Thank you.
See ya.
Today, Angus is off on his own to help a potential client decide whether or not she'll sell some of her collection.
I'm just on my way to meet Susan. Sounds a lovely lady. I'm making sort of tentative steps to thin out the house a little bit and downsizing, really.
Today's visit is in the Scottish town of Kirkcaldy in Fife.
Hello.
Hi, you all right?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Do come in, please.
Thank you.
I've collected a lot of stuff. It's taken over my house and my life.
Is there anything in particular you've been collecting?
I think the easiest question is there anything that I don't collect?
Okay, okay.
So, English china, glass art, fabrics, jewellery, watches, chairs, you name it, I have it.
Okay.
Susan, who emigrated from Iraq in the 1980s with her then young family, has spent the last 3 decades filling her house with antiques.
Somebody said to me, oh, you're becoming a hoarder. No, I'm not a hoarder because I am willing to part with them.
Do you think this will be quite a tricky or emotional process for you?
Some things I had to think twice, 3 times. But if there will be an extra square foot empty, then that is a start.
Time to hold Susan to her word and see what she's prepared to let go of. Angus has his eye on some German studio pottery.
This is a big jug, real sort of 60s in design. And I think these are still to hit their true market. A big piece like this, 25, 35 pounds. So they're not huge amounts of money, but I think potentially it could be an antique of the future.
I found another 2. Sorry
Found
to
another
interrupt.
2. Oh, yeah, no. Have you always liked German studio pottery?
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Would you part with some of them if you love them that much?
I need to think about it.
You've got to be happy, so if you know...
Yes.
there's no pressure.
I lose any of them, it's like losing one of my fingers.
Oh dear, we don't want you to lose any fingers.
Seriously. My heart is going dum-dum-dum.
Well, let's leave those for now.
I think that's a very good suggestion, yes.
Yeah.
As a compromise, Susan has pointed Angus in the direction of something she definitely will part with.
This is Royal Albert Country Roses, or Old Country Roses, with this rose pattern on it there. Generally speaking, dinner services and tea sets have gone really off the boil. However, there are the odd exceptions to the rule. This is one of them. Royal Albert Country Roses, don't ask me why, people must like roses, sells really well, and there's quite a bit of this in and around the house that I've seen.
Angus? So?
Oh, you found some more.
Susan's not just attempting to declutter for herself. She wants to make more room for her favourite guest.
I have a stunning, gorgeous, big mouth granddaughter. She is sharp as a nail. When I have her with me and she loves and we play, I don't feel 68, I feel 28.
Susan would love to see more of her granddaughter, but the spare room is full of stuff.
At the moment when my granddaughter comes to stay with me, she sleeps in the same room as I am. When she comes to visit me, I would love to have a room for her, her own space. I want her to when she walks in, she'll, oh, that's mine.
Although in theory, Susan wants to create more space, in practice, letting go of her beloved collection might be trickier.
Susan,
Coming.
I found your box of compacts.
Fantastic.
They've become really quite collectible now, these early compacts. This one's nice because it's a Stratton.
And it's amazing all these years, and you still have the powder inside them.
I know, I've been trying them. No, not really. Would you be willing to maybe part with half a dozen or so?
We'll do that.
Yep.
Yep. We'll negotiate.
Negotiate. Here we are, tucked around there. Look at this. A little maker's label there. I mean, isn't that just wonderful? We've got a pair of them, which is even better, because I think they're just a great little set. Susan?
Yep.
I have to say, of all the items I've seen in the house, this pair of chairs is my absolute favourite. So I'm guessing sort of 1920s, 30s?
They are 1920s, yes.
Yeah.
They came from Glasgow Cathedral.
Oh, okay.
And they were the children's, Sunday school children's chairs. And I didn't even want to clean them. I wanted the historic dust to stay there, to give them even more charisma.
It does, it adds character. Often with these chairs, you just get a single one and they sell okay.
Yeah.
But I think there's the fact that there's a pair is really good.
Well, actually, there is more. I bought 10.
Yeah, 10?
Yes.
I can see somebody falling in love with those.
I hope so.
Would you be happy for me to take a set and try those?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good.
Please do.
Well, they're making progress at last, with Susan agreeing to let Angus take some items to the auction, including an artist easel and a collection of watches.
Come away with a few items that will sell. But today was more about coming in and going through items with her and giving her a sense of some of the values, what she's likely to expect. And, you know, that's quite often part of my job, is going out, and you might not necessarily get something to sell that day, but it's down the road and they think about it and it plants that seed, and it's the first step on that journey. So hopefully I've helped Susan today.
2 weeks later, back in Kirby Moorside, the team are hard at work.
Hello, it's Jeremy Wood speaking.
And it's time for Susan's items to go under the gavel. It's auction day. Susan's arrived with some VIP guests, her granddaughter Neve and daughter-in-law Michelle.
How do you feel about seeing these here?
Sad in a way, but I'm thinking of the money, how much they're going to sell for, so that is a comfort. Those are the chairs.
Oh, they're cute.
The same color as the cowboy boots.
Now it's time for all three to take their seats as the auction is about to begin.
We start with this lot, this gorgeous set of children's chairs there. Where should we be for this? £100 I'm bid. 110, thank you. 120. There's bids coming in all over now. 120 on both platforms. At 120 it is. 130 here. 140. At £140 it is. Then at 140. At £140. Susan's little chairs, lovely things. And I'll split them into two lots because not everybody's going to want that many, so that gives somebody the option of getting a smaller group, or if somebody wants all of them, they can buy both lots. And I'm not surprised that they sold well. 175, the artist folding easel with the brass fittings at £32, at £52. The collection of ladies and gents fashion watches, 20 all done. The lot you've all been waiting for, 6 Stratton and other ladies compacts at 45, 48, bids all over it. 50 is it now? 50, it's exciting. 55, 55 it is. Gavel is up at £55.
Next up, it's the tea set that Angus thought would do well at auction.
The Royal Albert Country Roses, 32-piece, great set there. The Royal Albert.
Very sexy, very
always
sexy.
Popular. Yep.
£50, I'm bid at 50, I'm bid at 50 it is. At £50, at 50, at 50. Normally flies out like hotcakes, this. £50 bid, we're off now. 55, 60, 65, 70, at 70 pounds. At 70 pounds, at 70 it is then. 75 pounds, at 80
Big
it is.
teapot.
Huh?
It's got a big teapot.
It has got a big teapot, yeah. Yeah, big teapot, plates and everything. £80 it is. At £80.
With all 12 lots sold, has Angus made enough to allow Susan to do up the spare room for her little princess?
Oh, that was all right, wasn't it?
That was fab. That was really fab.
I know you had very high expectations, and I've tried to deliver.
You did deliver, and you were very patient with me, and I enjoyed hassling you, actually.
I thought at one point you were actually going to pull me off the rostrum and start selling it yourself.
I thought about it, but I was worried that I get thrown out. But I have to say, I'm really happy with the result with the chairs.
Yeah, so you're taking home £479.
Not bad for a day's work.
It's not bad, is it? Well, it's been wonderful hosting you here in Yorkshire and meeting you all, and I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
The day has been great, a lot of fun and excitement, and I'm going home with a heavier pocket. What is there not to like?
With a growing business to run, there's no rest for the wicked. Today, Angus has another solo trip booked in to value some items and bring a few back for auction.
Off to see Kathleen, who lives just near Aberdeen. Got a lot of inherited possessions and feels that they're holding her back in her life.
It's been over a decade since Kathleen lost her husband, and she's finding it hard to let go of his things.
I've been meaning to clear out, but I think I was probably too emotionally attached.
It was a recent change of career that put things in perspective.
Getting the job on the ship, I think that was the start of me being able just to let go. On the ship, I had my cabin, and I realised that I could live with very, very little.
So back on dry land, Kathleen spoke to Angus, and he's arrived to help her begin the clear out.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
I've accumulated an awful lot of stuff. I'm a bit of a hoarder.
If it makes you feel any better, there's lots of people in a very similar situation.
Kathleen's large 4-bedroom house is full of the clutter of family life. Tragically, her husband James died of a heart condition when their 2 children were still very young. She and James had been together since they were 17.
I knew I liked him and I knew he liked me, but he was very shy. There was a club that we all used to go to on a Saturday night, and we were dancing, and I asked him, "Will you go with me?" and he just said yes, and we got married in 1984.
It's been 16 years since James died, but Kathleen is still surrounded by all his possessions. He was an avid collector, picking up Russian antiques whilst working abroad in Azerbaijan.
I love it. You just open the cupboard and there's loads and loads of stuff. I absolutely love this goddess of hunting there with a stag and all these figures. And we've talked about a Russian connection, haven't we?
Yes, yes.
Because we've got the Russian coat of arms on the back.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So that's really quite nice.
So how old would that be?
This is probably sort of circa 1920s.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. My husband, it was part of his collection. He picked up things here and there. I think he used to go to markets and things like that.
James collected dozens of Russian items, including belts and religious artwork.
I think he had quite an eye, you know, he's
Right,
picked
okay.
interesting things.
A bit more rummaging around the house reveals one of James's other collections, and it's huge.
It's an auctioneer's dream when you come in and you open up a box, a chest, something like this, and it is full of watches. This is quite exciting. Kathleen?
Yeah.
I think I've discovered the watch collection.
Yes, all right, okay.
Very interesting. I'm quite excited.
All right, okay. Oh, that's good.
And it's just tucked away in here. And
it's been sitting in this chest for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I've had a quick look through.
Yeah.
And a lot of these are sort of anywhere between 100 and 300. But, you know, there's one or two particularly rarer ones. This nice cased Omega is probably about sort of £600 to £800.
Oh, excellent. Oh,
so there's some
good.
really, really good sought after watches. And what's really nice as we delve deeper, you know, you've got all these boxes as well. And even an empty Omega box in its own right is anywhere between £80 and £200 just for the box.
Oh. I think seeing some space cleared is giving me the impetus to think, all right, I want to do more. It was stuff that was just clutter that was really good just to hand to Angus and say, even if you get £40 for it, I'd rather have that than it just taking space up in a cupboard.
Here is another collection. All these lighters. Now these are DuPont, good French make of lighters made in Paris. And these are actually very collectible now. And we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a few box ones. There's about a dozen or so of these. And actually this is going to add up because these little lighters can fetch anywhere between £30 and £60 a piece. Say £300 to £500 worth of lighters in there. Just tucked away in a cupboard, so you just never know. So, great little find.
The money Angus will raise from the auction has already been earmarked by Kathleen to spend on an adventurous retirement.
The money would really help my new camper van fund. Once I retire, I want to get a little dog and to travel with me. And I love the sea. So I thought if I had a camper van, I could just park it up and look out at the sea.
4 weeks later, back in Kirby Moorside, the team are hard at work.
Good afternoon, Rigel Auctioneers.
Today, Kathleen's husband's collections will go under the gavel.
We've done a lot of research into this collection of watches and we've made some very exciting discoveries. We're in for a few surprises today.
With the auction minutes away, Kathleen's arrived with her stepsister, who's also called Kathleen. The auction's attracting a lot of attention worldwide because of her late husband's collection of Russian items.
We've got a lot of bidders online today, a lot of international bidders. 15 different countries got online today, 400 odd registered bidders.
To accommodate some of the overseas collectors, Mark and Jeremy are both taking phone bids.
The 19th century sort of Cossack-style Russian belt there. I've got 150 straight in on it, starts me. 160, 170, 180 is in there. 190, 200 is in now. 210, 220, fresh bid, thank you. We're all done at £220, don't mistake it. Gavin is up at 220. The Russian market is particularly strong at the moment. There's a lot of Russian buyers trying to buy bits back. But in general, Russian stuff sells well. And I'm not surprised that 19th century Russian belt sold so well. It was a beautifully made thing and very desirable. The 19th century Russian icon. £150 start me, 150, 160, 170. We're all done up 170. Lovely plaque there, Art Nouveau with the Russian crests on the back. £50 at 55, 65, at £65 at 65, 70, thank you, £70, moving at 70. At 70 it is, yours at 70, sir.
Angus has decided to group James's collection of lighters into 6 lots. The first 2 are up next.
£60 a minute, £60 at 60. It's getting exciting now, isn't it?
Isn't it?
70, thank you. We're all done. For the DuPonts at £70. £100, the fresh bid at 100, 110, 110 it is, then at 110. 120, 120, thank you very much for the lighters. They're on fire, aren't they? 2 more. We like them, don't we? There we go. 75, 80, all done at 80, gavels up.
Next, the vintage watches, sold in over 100 lots. The best quality items are being sold in single lots and the others as small groups.
Absolutely superb collection. We're very privileged to be selling these today. We start with the Breitling there at 320. Longines, that's a good watch, is that one. At 320, we're all done, don't mistake it. Ooh, There's a good one. The Omega Constellation, 230, 240. Seiko quartz chronograph there, £50 a bid, 55, 60, at 65. Couldn't resist. Lot number 515, Longines. Now that is a very fancy watch indeed. £500, start me. Bid, 500 on the phone, 520, 540 it is. You've come to life now. 540, 560, 560, 580, 600, 620, 660. Can't keep up. 700, 720, 740, 760, 780, 820. You out, sir? You're out. I'm selling. Easy Live at 820.
Watches. How can one be worth £20 and one worth £2,000? Well, it comes down to a number of factors. Watches in general, very collectible, but also it's what they're made out of. Is it just ordinary metal or is it gold case? Because that'll affect the value. But also the maker. If it's a top maker like Rolex or Omega, hugely desirable. They're expensive to buy new and they hold that value in the second-hand market.
The Tudor Prince Oyster Date Automatic, 400, 420, 440, 460, 480. 500, 520.
I'm just thinking
You've got
about
it.
the amount
Somebody
of
on the
times that I
salary.
walked
It's
out
at
the house and forgot to
At
lock the door.
740. All done. At 740. The Rolex brown leather watch box. Look at that. Got a £150 bid. 160, 170.
And just as Angus predicted, even the boxes are worth a fortune.
180, 190.
You can buy a watch for that.
260. At £260. The most watched item in the wholesale.
In spite of the scuff face, this is a vintage Hoyer watch.
620. £620, 640, 660, 680, 700.
In its heyday, this mid-century make adorned the wrists of Hollywood stars and racing drivers, and its vintage glamour makes it a must-have for collectors.
1,000, thank you on the sale room. 1,050 with me.
Oh my goodness.
1,050. Gavel is up at £1,050.
Cheers.
With the sale such an enormous success, will it have raised enough cash to give Kathleen the adventurous retirement she's been dreaming of?
Overall, I think we've got some good results.
It's fantastic actually, because I never kind of expected to sell everything.
Well, would you like to know how much money you'd be walking away with?
Yes, please.
So, if I told you were taking over 14,000.
Oh my goodness. Oh, flipping it.
£14,326.
Oh my God, Kathleen, well done. She's sitting in a shoebox.
I can't believe I've had that all sitting in my house for so long. Crikey, she was...
Well done.
14,000.
14,326.
Oh my goodness. That was James's collection. I think he would have been very pleased. He was a very humble man, so he wouldn't have been proud. He would have just been quietly pleased.
A couple of months after her auction, in Scotland, Fiona is a step closer to achieving her dream.
The house has been put on the market and I would still like to someday go travelling, possibly in India. That's how I would like to spend the money, and I think my mum and dad would be quite happy with that. Especially my dad, because he liked travelling and he always thought you're better to enjoy your money than to put it in the bank.